I'm such a planner. I've definitely fallen victim to paralysis by analysis in that respect, because a lot of times I want to have all the answers before I begin. Hi, I'm Paige Killian, and I'm passionate about helping busy moms of littles get organized in 3 simple steps. So here's today's organization motivation. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining me again. So now today we are talking about this thing that comes up a lot when I talk to my busy mom clients, when I am doing organizing in my own home, when I am talking to people who maybe have lost a loved one and they're having to go through some of their belongings and figure out what to do with them. It is called paralysis by analysis. Have you ever heard that before? I cannot take credit for this actual concept or phrase. What I can take credit for is how we are going to break this down into 3 simple steps so that we do not overanalyze all of these things that will sometimes put us into paralysis mode where we don't move forward because we feel like things are going to be so overwhelming or it's going to be stressful. And so we don't even start. Have you ever felt like that with a project that you're wanting to work on at the time, whether that was when you were a kid and you were doing something in school or in college? I guess we're still kids in college, let's be real, and working on something in school, or maybe it is working on something professionally or now in your home. If you are trying to organize your home and there's this one area that makes you so super crazy, a lot of times it's because we get in our heads about all the different possible ways we could get started, what those outcomes could be, and how different they could look if we choose to do this or choose to do that. So, whenever we are looking at a project and we are stuck and we are sort of paralyzed because we're analyzing all the different possibilities of getting it started or what it could look like in the end, I want you to keep these 3 things in mind. So these are the 3 E's: your essential, enhancement, and extra. And so this week, when we talk about pushing past that paralysis because we are overanalyzing things and we're just not even getting started because we're so overwhelmed, I really want to talk about simplifying this, and that is going to actually have us move forward and get past that paralysis. Okay. So the first thing, you're essential. Here's what I want you to think about. Start with what you know. All right. What does that mean? Well, let's just say that what you feel paralyzed about right now is a place in your home that you're organizing. Well, if we start with what we know, if you've been listening to episodes that I've done in the past, I believe that the first place to start is a good purge. So you look at that space and you think, how can I get rid of anything I don't need, doesn't fit, I'm not using, is outdated, whatever your excuse is. If that thing isn't bringing you joy, is not serving you, it's time to let it go. And sometimes this is where paralysis by analysis really sets in, because we can't even get past that first step. Sometimes it's not the sentimental items. Sometimes it's things that we've spent money on and we feel all kinds of guilty or bad about getting rid of it. Definitely start with what we know, and that is we're going to focus on a good purge. This is where you're going to go get bags with handles, slide them on your arm. Don't overthink this, okay? Don't overanalyze this. Go into your closet or go into that space, your toy playroom, your living room, your kitchen cabinets, wherever it is that you have felt paralyzed about not moving forward. And I want you to go to that place with a bag with handles on your arm, maybe 2. Just start looking at what you can purge right now. Don't worry about what's going to happen to it or whatever. Just get in there and take something out of that space and put it in the bag, knowing that doesn't need to belong in that space anymore. Right? So you can find a place for it later, or you can donate it, or you can sell it, or whatever. But that is what you need to start with. Start with what we know. We know we need to get rid of some of the things in that space, most likely. Okay. And what does this do for us? It actually starts to build confidence. Okay, because there's a plan. There's a plan for the initial jumping off point, and we know that the next steps will follow. This is the enhancement. What's going to add style or value to what you just did with that essential. Okay, we are going to research your concerns. So if your big hang up is like, Okay, Paige, well, so I've done this purge and then I've got these things, bags with handles and I don't know what to do. Well, make the decision at this point. Are you going to donate that? Are you going to sell that and get a little ROI? If that's something that you want to do, I would highly encourage you to look up online, to ask Alexa, figure out some great places that what once served you can now serve other people. Talk to somebody at your church or your kids' school and find out, are there places that take some of these items that you want to donate? You can get a little ROI if you're going to perhaps put them on, eBay and sell them, or if you're going to post it to next door and see if somebody wants to come pick it up, or if there's a price for that, if you want to sell it in Facebook Marketplace. Research your concerns. If your concern is that you don't know what to do with these items, that's where you research. This is where you can ask someone for help. You can hire someone to bring their expertise to the table. So if this is somebody that you need to actually hire to come in like an organizer and help you get this stuff out of your space so you don't feel so paralyzed because you're doing it all by yourself, now is the time to do that. Certainly, I'm just going to put it out there. If you need any help from me, I do virtual organizing sessions. I do in-home organizing sessions. You can get my online courses that will specifically teach you exactly how to organize your home. There's another course for your wardrobe, another course to organize your schedule, and there's another course to organize your kids, right? So whatever area is making you crazy, there is a specific 3-step strategy that I break down in my online courses for you. Go to everythingwithstyle.com and check those out, because I'm telling you, it helps so much just feeling like you're not doing this alone. Okay. So again, we've got our essential. Start with what you know. That's going to be that purge. Our enhancement. This is where you're going to research your concerns. You're going to hire somebody if you need to. You're going to ask people for references. Maybe you just reach out, you just post something on, Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or wherever, and just say, I need help with this. Who knows about this? And then finally, we've got the 3rd step. This is your extra. This is what I want you to really consider when you feel paralyzed by whatever it is that's holding you back from getting your space organized, or whatever this goal is. And that is to lean in and just begin. Sometimes that can be really scary. That can be where fear sets in and we don't know if it's the right step. That's where we can become paralyzed. And we can overanalyze things. We can think things to death. And believe me, I'm the first person to do that. So don't be so scared to start because you don't see how it's all going to play out. I'm such a planner. I've definitely fallen victim to paralysis by analysis in that respect, because a lot of times I want to have all the answers before I begin. And that's not always possible. And it's okay to not know the exact way you're going to plan something out and the end goal. It's okay. So I talk a lot about getting 1% better, shooting for 1% more organized, for example. And the reason that I talk about that 1% is because, again, we sometimes will get in this position where we feel like we have to know how it's all going to play out. And so we won't start it because we feel like it's going to be overwhelming. If we just shoot for saying like, today I'm going to get 1% better. I'm going to tackle that mail pile by opening one letter. I talk about when I was writing my book, instead of thinking I need to write 5,000 words this week or 5,000 words today, instead of doing that, I was like, what would get me 1% closer to my goal in writing this book? Guess what my 1% better was? Opening my laptop. So guess what happens when you open that laptop or when you pull out that notebook to make a list? Yeah, you're shooting for 1% better. And you're taking away that stress of having to complete a massive task, like write 5,000 words that day. And you're just focusing on the next step that's right in front of you. Inevitably, you are going to do more than that because that wasn't so hard. And when you get that confidence boost and you're like, okay, that wasn't so hard. Well, let me do a little bit more. Well, then you're better than 1%. Chances are you might get to 10% better that day. Sometimes we get on a roll because so much of that paralysis by analysis was just us getting started. And once we've already done that, it's like, okay, wait, this is not as hard as I thought it was going to be. And then you might accomplish 50% more toward your goal that you were planning on that day. How incredible versus doing the same thing that you've been doing for however long, sitting on the couch, watching Netflix, which is very fun, but sometimes that is the way that we zone out and we don't get done with what we need to get done with. Scrolling through our phone and we're on social media. Put your phone down, get up, grab a bag with handles. Sometimes we get on a roll because so much of that paralysis by analysis was just us getting started. And once we've already done that, it's like, okay, wait, this is not as hard as I thought it was going to be. And then you might accomplish 50% more toward your goal that you were planning on that day. Do stay focused on the things that you're trying to focus on. Set a timer. Maybe it makes sense right now for you to set a timer and say like, okay, I'm going to spend 10 minutes on looking at Pinterest and getting some ideas. And then I'm going to go in that room and I'm going to get to work. All right. Hopefully these 3 steps are not too overwhelming and they will help you get started and push past that paralysis by analysis. Hey, thanks for watching this video. For more resources to organize and style your busy life in 3 simple steps, head over to everythingwithstyle.com and connect with me on Instagram at everythingwithstylemom. Don't forget to check out the Mom's Organization Motivation podcast over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any of your favorite platforms. And if you loved this video, it would make me so happy if you would subscribe and share it with your friends. Thanks so much for watching and happy organizing.